Ladies and gentlemen, this bout scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds in the lightweight division. This bout is brought to you by Mark Nielsen of Nielsen Boxing in association with John Trethui of TM14 Promotions and proudly sponsored by Zapply and Gladius. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representative, Chaz Coakley. Your timekeeper at the bell, John Smith. And your third man in the ring in charge of the action, referee Bernard Oyet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks. His official weight of 133.3 pounds. He is a veteran of 59 fights. Hailing from Girona, Spain, introducing Jayro Fernando Duran. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the light blue with white trim. His official weight of 133.2 pounds. And tonight, he is making his professional debut. Hailing from Fulham, London, England, United Kingdom. Introducing Silas, the Mean Machine Bogyere.
Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Shake hands, good luck.
Seconds out, round one.
Well, this is the first round of a 4-round contest in the lightweight division between Silas Bogyere and Spain's Jayro Fernando Duran. Bogyere's already made a decent start. It's already fast-paced, Spencer.
Yep, certainly is. Looks in fantastic shape, doesn't he? Don't know too much about Bogyere. It is his debut. We know there's a little bit of a white-collar background there. He's fell in love with the sport, and now he finds himself boxing at the York Hall, Bethnal Green, in his professional debut. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, you're right, Spence. He does look in good shape. He's come out really fast. Throwing loads of hands, I guess that's still that amateur style. I mean, it will take a while before you settle. It always takes a while to settle into a professional style, but coming from that white-collar background, it's easy to fall in love with the sport. He done the amateur route, didn't just come straight from white-collar, done the amateur route, and then, you know, now he's turning professional, so good luck to him.
And you know what, then? Do you remember that professional debut? You know, it can either be brilliant or it can be absolutely disastrous, because it's about, you know, you coming out and feeling the atmosphere, smelling the crowd, getting in there, and he's brought good support down here today, and it's all about keeping his composure. You know, we've seen so many great fighters in the past that have had nightmares of debuts through letting the crowd and the atmosphere and the occasion get to them.
Yeah, I mean, even though he's done this as an amateur a few times, as a professional, it feels like this is real, if that makes sense. So his crowd cheering him on, he's coming out with no vest. You know, he can feel the breeze on his skin, and he just has to kind of, you know, just not pay attention to the crowd and box to his rhythm.
Well, there's a reason they call him the Mean Machine. He's made a fantastic start to the first round. We're just over halfway through the first round. He's targeting the body well with that jab, and he's made a real quick start. He's putting his punches together. There's a reason they call him the Mean Machine.
Absolutely, shot selection's brilliant, working the body very well here. Lovely work on the outside, and then getting inside as well, throwing some good shot selection as well.
He's gone to the head and body, both head and body. He's not just head hunting. He's, you know, he switched his attack, which is making it difficult for Duran to find, you know, what to defend.
Well, we was talking about the occasion, getting to Bogyere, and how would he handle it with the debut, not too much experience in the amateurs and that white-collar background. But I tell you what, he started nice and composed here. He doesn't look like a kid that doesn't have too much experience in the ring.
Yeah, and that, you know, he's a little bit older than your average debutant, so maybe that comes with a little bit of aging as well. He just understands, you know, how to compose himself a bit better.
Well, Fernando Duran's had 59 fights. 14 of those fights have been won by knockout. He's taken 6 losses by way of knockout. We're just coming to the last 10 seconds of this first round, but Silas Bogyere has taken the professional ranks like a fish to water.
Yep, good work again there, upstairs, downstairs. Finishes the round very well there, Bogyere. He will be very happy with that. The professional debut, the first round. Denzel Bentley, you know what that's like, mate. There's a lot of pressure on your shoulders there, and it's just nice to get it out the way. No problems, you know, he built as the round went on, and yeah, I thought that was a good start for him.
I thought that was a good start too. I think the most nerve-wracking moment of the debut is that first round. Knowing how you come out, knowing how you perform, and he settled into it quite well. You know, you're boxing in front of your crowd, he wants to impress them, but he's not chasing a knockout, he's not chasing, you know, a star-studded performance. He's just boxing to have, you know, to his strengths.
Some of the good action there in the first round from Bogyere. There we see the shots selection, putting the punches in bunches, working well. Accuracy was good as well. Let's see if he can build on that at the beginning of round number 2.
Seconds out, round 2.
Well, this is round 2 of a 4-round contest in the lightweight division between Silas Bogyere and Jayro Fernando Duran. Bogyere's made a fantastic start in the first round. He's come out quick. He's put his punches together really well. Bit of holding there on the inside from Fernando Duran. Referee just steps in. It's interesting considering he never wanted to be a boxer. Bogyere's literally looks like the most natural fighter in the world right now.
Sometimes the sports choose you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, you're so right there. You know, when you look back in history and some of the fighters that took the game up like Bernard Hopkins, become one of the greatest fighters of all time. You saw Anthony Joshua move through the ranks so quickly. Didn't walk into the amateur boxing gym until he was 18 years of age. You know, some fighters, like you say, the sport chooses you.
Yeah, that's it.
And that might be here with Bogyere as well, because he is handling this occasion nicely, working the body well, showing great boxing IQ actually for a kid with such limited experience.
No, he is. Like I said earlier, he's targeting both head and body. I mean, a lot of young fighters that have been boxing since kids and, you know, come at the amateurs and turn pro, they always headhunt, they want that spectacular knockout, but he's fighting at a good pace, going head and body, and he's not rushing his work.
Well, let me tell you, he's got an interesting story, Silas Bogyere. His main inspiration is wanting to make his 8-year-old son proud, who sadly passed away. But, you know, if there's any motivation, you can see it in his face now. You can see it in his eyes. He wants to make him proud, and there's something in him that is very unique to his story and to his performance tonight.
Absolutely. You know, if you're ever looking for any sort of motivation or inspiration, there it is right there, you know, reasons to do this game. And he's got a solid one there. It's, you know, that's an incredible backstory he's got, and he started this fight so well. A minute left in this second round, the round that he's dominated again here, working well again to the body. I'm loving this shot selection, Denz. He's going up and down all the time, keeping the opponent guessing. And Duran, you know, he's struggling to cope with the speed there at the moment.
He is. I mean, I'm loving the work rate too. He's throwing shots, like I keep repeating it, but he's getting head and body with a good work rate, but it doesn't look like it'll slow down anytime soon because he's not loading up his punches. He's just letting his hands flow. He looks comfortable now.
He certainly does, and if you notice with Fernando Duran, he's switching to southpaw and orthodox, and Bogyere's just adapting his own style so seamlessly.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And for Bogyere, you know, he's working well. What he's doing is effective. And for Duran, he's just trying to get a foothold of this one, switching from orthodox to southpaw. He can't really get off with anything. He's a split second too late when he's counter-punching.
Right hand there from Bogyere.
Yeah, Bogyere again getting through, breaking through the guard there of Duran. And Duran's got that experience. He's been in the, you know, ring a number of times, and so he's come up against a number of different styles. But this is a tough night for Duran right now. And I tell you what, Denz, how does he turn that around? Because Bogyere at the moment is just like a whirlwind in there.
He is. I mean, someone like that, you know, like we mentioned earlier, his motivation behind why he wants to box and you know, the people around him that he wants to make proud. I mean, you can't stop that. Especially, he's opted to stand up the stools out, and he's standing up in the corner. He's a man possessed right now. He's going straight through the motions. He's letting his hands go so fluidly. he's not slowing down right now.
Yeah, absolutely needs some of the action in that second round. And we saw, look at the footwork there, where he's just shuffling out of range, making Duran fall short, and then coming back with shots of his own again. Yeah, brilliant debut so far. Kids oozing confidence, standing in the corner. Now it's all about not losing complacency, staying focused, staying switched on, because, you know, he's enjoying it in there. He's getting into a rhythm.
He is. He's got a big smile on his face right now coming up in the third round.
Round 3.
Well, this is round 3 of this 4-round contest in the lightweight division between Silas Bogyere and Jayro Fernando Duran. Silas Bogyere making his debut here tonight at the York Hall. He's actually a boxing coach in his local community, volunteers to try and inspire the younger generation. And right now, he's very, very inspiring.
I tell you what, Bogyere's inspiring me when you tell me about the backstory and what he does, you know, in there, working with the local communities, all the charity work, etc. You just, like, you gravitate towards him straight away, don't you? You want him to do well, and he's doing well. Here you go, hands down low. We see a little bit of the Mayweather in there. What's going on there,
A bit of showboating coming in. That's the comfortability that he's now finally enjoying himself. But like you said, Spence, he shouldn't get complacent, but he should enjoy himself. It's his debut.
Do you know what? I was watching the highlight reels of you, actually, the other day when we was going through, and there was a knockout that you done that same move. And I don't know if he's got it from you or what, but you pulled it out there, you set the trap, and boom, goes out cold. Was that in your last fight? I can't remember when that was.
I think it was a few fights ago, yeah. Two, might have been my last 2 fights, yeah.
Right.
And when you look at Bogyere, he's got a good shot selection, but actually his defenses are very varied as well. He's not just relying on his feet or his trunk, he's actually using both, and he's keeping Fernando Duran guessing. He can't quite get his rhythm, Fernando Duran. Silas Bogyere has completely dominated this contest. He's got Duran on the ropes.
Yeah, good performance. Duran taking part in his 60th contest tonight, and I tell you what, it's as tough as he's been in with any of the others, and he's very, very durable, this guy. Doesn't get stopped a lot, and he's doing everything he can not to get stopped tonight, if I'm totally honest, because, listen, he's a trier, that is for sure. He does get the wins. 15 of those 60 contests, or 59 contests, have gone his way, so he does come to win. You know, he doesn't come to survive, but that then gives Bogyere an opportunity.
About a minute left in round 3 of this 4-round contest, and Silas Bogyere has completely dominated it as far as I'm concerned, Denzel.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't think he's let around slip. The work rate hasn't died down yet. He's enjoying himself. We're seeing more of his skill set come out. And yeah, I mean, it's a good debut.
I mean, his style is so fluid, Spencer, and it's always good to see the lightweights because they're always quick and snappy, aren't they? Just like that left-right that just landed there nice and clean, but he's got such a fluidity about him.
Yeah, he has. He took the left hand downstairs there, set the trap, and let the right hand go over the top. Duran, to his credit, took that shot well, but you're right, there is a nice fluidity around his work. He's nice and relaxed, and that's why he can have such a high output, because he's not loading up with his shots. That's what I say, showing a lot of maturity for a kid, you know, with limited amateur background and making his debut, because there's a nice flow around his work.
The last few seconds there as the bell goes for round 3 in this 4-round contest. Silas Bogyere has absolutely dominated so far, Spencer. Talk us through it.
Yeah, he has. He's been growing into this. And that 3rd round was probably his best round so far. We said it, shot selection up and down has been brilliant. He set the trap there with the left hand to the body, whipped the right hand over the top, and Duran can do nothing but soak them up. He's trying to come back with some shots of his own. Some of the action here in this 3rd round. And as you'll see, Bogyere is the guy that is letting the shots go. But just relentless pressure, putting Duran under it. Duran using all his experience then just to sort of get through this one. Listen, he's not looked like he's been hurt at all in this one, but it's been a tough night for him.
Yeah, it has. I mean, you're right, he hasn't looked like he's been hurt, but he just can't get anything off. He can't find any openings from Bogyere. He just tried to swing a wild right hand there.
I think he heard you, mate, because he got one off there as soon as he said that. He bowled it like he was throwing a cricket ball there, and it landed. A little warning there for Bogyere. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Don't lose composure. You know, don't get too comfortable in there, because boxing's that game where one shot turns it around, split second.
Split second.
And Duran has knockout power. We can see that from his record. 14 times he's knocked his opponents out. But Bogyere seems unfazed by anything that Jayro Fernando Duran's actually throwing. He's kind of neutralizing it with his feet as he moves away. He comes back in nicely with that right hand over the top.
See that cheeky little shot there, short right hand followed by a left hand screw there. Lovely shot from Bogyere again.
And a lovely clean right hand straight down the pipe onto the chin of Jayro Fernando Duran. He sets all of his punches up really nicely behind the jab. He's spent a short time in the amateurs, but they've taught him well, no doubt.
Yeah, a lot of that is like Denzel nailed it earlier on when he said sometimes the sport changes you and chooses you. And that's what happened to him with Bogyere, I think, because he's come into the game late and recognised that he's got an immense amount of talent.
Yep.
Well, Bogyere's relentless in his pressure over these 4 rounds. We're at halfway through the final round of this lightweight contest, and Silas Bogyere has done his fans proud today, and also his 8-year-old son, who we said sadly passed away. But a nice clean left hand up through the middle there from Bogyere.
Look at the work again, Bogyere throwing the shots, rolling off the shots, setting up, you know, so this guy is going through what we call phases here, where he's throwing the shots phase 1, moving out the way of shots phase 2, that sets up phase 3. Yep. I mean, that is good experience there from a kid making his debut. It's normally offense or defense, but this guy's putting it all together.
He is, and it just shows, you know, he is competing, he is better than, you know, he is expected to be with someone with limited experience and having their debut. So he's soaked up the game, he's shown dedication, and he's learned a lot in a short space of time. And he's putting it all into action today. And I think that's important, putting into action what you've learned, and he's been able to do that.
Duran just took 3 clean shots there from Bogyere as we're coming down to the last 30-odd seconds of the final round of this 4-round contest.
Yep, and this 30 seconds can't go quick enough for Duran. If I'm totally honest, it's been a tough old night for him. Look, he's shown a lot of character in there, that is for sure, because he's kept coming, kept trying. But it's been an impressive debut here by Silas Bogyere, who's looked sensational really from round number 1. He's built on that round after round. Shot selection's been brilliant. He's enjoyed it, that's the most important thing. And it's been a great debut.
Takes a clean left hand there from Duran, though. I think you felt that.
Well, it's every time we mention it, I'm sure they can hear us, so I've got a bit of a big mouth, and every time we say something, the other guy seems to come back. But yeah, no, great fight there, great debut by Silas Bogyere. For me, won all 4 of those rounds. A tough opponent, an experienced opponent in the opposite corner in Jayro Duran, but Bogyere, for me, running out a clear winner.
I mean, his corner looked delighted with him, and no doubt, I mean, if you look at the replay here, Spencer, he's just sensational in terms of the punches he puts together, in terms of his defences, and he had Jayro Fernando Duran under pressure for the entire fight.
Absolutely. Listen, he's going to have tougher nights here, I'm sure. But look, as a debut, you've got a lot of weight on your shoulders. You know, you're going into the unexpected, you're blindfolded. You know, you've not been used to this before. As Denzel said earlier in the commentary, the vest is off, you feel the cold air on your shoulders. There's no head guard there. It's a whole different game, and the kid dealt with it very, very well. Looking forward to watching him in the future, but Silas Bogyere, for me, running out a clear winner there as the referee calls them together. I think we are just about to get the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee's scorecard. Referee Bernard Oyen scores the bout 40-36. And your winner, Silas the Big Machine Bogyere!
There's absolutely no surprises with that score there for Silas Bogyere. He won 40-36. He said his little son's nickname was Champ, but I think we've got a champ in the making.